How to solve a design problem. Let's find out. But first, hi all, my name is José. I'm a Portuguese designer living and working in Ontario, Canada. And in this video, you'll learn what is the one thing you need to start solving any problem. But for that, I need to tell you a story. So I lived in Amsterdam for 3 years, and when I moved there, I was lucky enough to find a flat in a brand new building. It even had a lift, which you might not think much of it, but it's actually a big deal. Just ask anyone that lives there. The thing I didn't realize was that there was one thing missing from my apartment: lighting. Yeah, you think that's kind of essential, but not my landlord. And there were no lights installed in the whole apartment. I literally had cables hanging from the ceiling, which for some reason I didn't notice until it was too late. So I had to install it myself. Now, bear in mind that I'm not a handyman. At that time I owned 0 tools. So this was a true challenge for me. Do you know how many designers it takes to install a light bulb? Just one. But does it have to be a light bulb? That's not even a joke. That's exactly what I thought. Since I had to install something, I decided to get ceiling lamps instead of just regular light bulbs. And this is where my saga begins. The first problem that I had was that I needed a drill to drill the ceiling, and I didn't own one. But the solution seemed easy. I went to a store and I picked one that seemed appropriate. And then I got home and realized that I just had a second problem to solve. The ceiling was stone, and of course I didn't have the right drill bits. So I went back to the store, I bought a few stone drill bits, and then went back home, tried it out, and problem 3 emerged. The stone bits weren't doing the job. So went back to the store and decided to ask the guy in the counter. You might not realize, but this is really showing how much desperate I'm getting. Normally I try to avoid real human interactions, and so I don't even like to open the door for people delivering food. Anyway, I digress. I tried to explain the situation and they recommended me to buy another type of drill. A more powerful but more expensive kind. Which is another reason why I try to avoid talking to people behind counters. So I went back home and guess what? Still didn't work. So I had to go back to the store, and then I told him it didn't work. He realized I actually needed another kind of drill because my ceiling wasn't stone after all. He said that was probably concrete, otherwise the other one should have worked. So now the kind of drill he was recommending, they didn't have to sell in the store, but they had to rent. So I rented one for a couple hours, which at least was less expensive than buying another drill. But I had to buy the drill bit though. Now, the moment of truth, it worked. With that drill, I finally managed to get the holes in the ceiling and install the damn lamps. If at this point you're wondering why the hell I'm talking about installing lamps for so long, hang in there. The answer is coming. You see, in the beginning of my story, I thought my problem was that I had to install a lamp, but it turns out that was actually my goal. My problem actually was that I needed to drill holes in a ceiling made of concrete. If you have your problem well defined in the beginning of the project, it's much easier to get to the solution. So, how do you solve a design problem? You start by really understanding the root of the problem, because what's at the surface might not tell you the whole story. You can't just say you need to drill holes in the ceiling. You need to understand what the ceiling is made of. Now, that's the theory. In reality, it's not always that straightforward. And you might not have a way to actually find out what the ceiling is made of. So, like in my story, sometimes you have to take a stab at solving what you think the problem might be, and hopefully through that process get closer not just to the solution, but also to the actual root of the problem. That's basically what I did to install the lamps, and it's also my approach when it comes to designing. When I don't fully understand a problem, I try to gain as much insights as I can by asking why multiple times, but sometimes you can only get so far. And at that point, I assume that I have the best possible understanding of the problem that I can, and I start thinking of potential solutions for it. If the solution ends up not working, it's never a waste of time, because at least now you know a path that you can take, which takes you a bit closer to really understanding the problem, which in turn takes you one step closer to actually figuring out the solution. So, if you have a problem at hand, the first thing you need to do is to really understand it. As Charles Kettering said, a problem well stated is half solved. And that's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and thanks for watching. This was Half Full. I'll see you on the next one. Pow!